Hello, everyday leaders. We are so excited. Here it is, Saturday, December the 7th. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We created this Facebook group event because I've got some really exciting news to share with you. I have a wonderful new author, Kris Beaird, that is joining us because she's got a great story. I'm not going to steal her show. We are super excited to bring her on here and just communicate to the world what she has always felt inside and that she is now able to communicate through a book. Everybody wants to write a book, and she did it. So congratulations first, Kris.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
This is really awesome. So tell people, first of all, what you do, where you live, and then we'll get into kind of the details.
I live in Tampa, Florida, suffering for Jesus in 75-degree weather today. I was going to be out on my lanai, except our neighbors are cleaning their yard, so that was too much noise. But anyway, I have 3 grown sons and 7 grandchildren. They live all over the country. And so my husband and I just retired from many years of ministry, pastoring, and leadership development of pastors. And so I'm experiencing retirement from that job, and I'm loving it. But I also have my coaching business, which is Max Coach by Kris, which I just want to help people become the leaders in their life, because I felt like I waited too long. I would let circumstances and other people kind of steer me. And I just want to encourage people, be the leader of your life. Step up.
And it's so hard to do sometimes when you're in the middle and you're stuck. And we've had these personal conversations. Sometimes you kicked me in the rear end and said, stop this, right? Because all of us need that. It's that accountability. And that's what I've loved about our relationship is we do other things, and so really it's understanding that you need a coach in your life and that you need to be able to have that person that builds that accountability platform with you. Because
and I joined the coaching group that you and I are both in a couple months ago because I needed accountability. I mean, it's you can tell other people, but you need it yourself. And you've had to push me forward. Like when I wrote this book, I didn't even tell you guys I'd written it. And then I show up one day and you go, what? When did you do this? And then you helped me in how to promote it, because I wasn't sure. It's awkward to promote yourself. It is for me. And you guys said, oh my gosh, Kris, get out there. You have a story. And so it's not about promoting me. It's about promoting what God's done in my life and saved me. And like Psalms 103 says, he delivers us from the pit. And mine was the pit of depression. And so many people struggle with depression. Every time I talk about it, I see ears perk up. I was at a potluck event this morning. 2 people bought my book. I mean, I just mentioned it, and it's like, I want to know. I have a friend. My friend.
Yeah.
I said, well, you can read the book first before you give it to me.
Exactly, right. Who do I need to sign this to? Oh, my friend.
So knowing that I'm promoting the story and encouraging other people to look for the corner in their life, because God has such wonderful things, but we get stuck behind the corner.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's just been very fun to see this come into fruition. I did not want to write a book. My husband's a writer.
But see,
you know how God prompts you?
Mm-hmm.
Other people would say, when are you going to write a book? Or I'd read the scripture in Habakkuk, write the vision. And it would be the Holy Spirit saying, remember, Kris, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So finally, it's come.
So when you think about, the title of your book, the title of your book is There Had to Be a Corner.
There had better be a corner.
There had better be a corner. Stop me from saying that. There had better be a corner. There had better be a corner. because what inspired you for the title? And then as you started writing this, how long have you been really pulling the content together for this?
For years, when I would be discouraged and in depression, friends would say, and wanting to give up in many ways, give up on life, give up in ministry, give up in marriage. And people would say, hang in there, Kris, because just around the corner. But one day I just, in despair, I said, if I hear that one more time, there had better be a darn corner. And my husband reminds me of that moment. I remember when you said those words. And so after that, I would say, if I ever write a book, that's going to be the name of my book. There had better be a corner. And so, what was the rest of your question?
Well, when did you decide, and how long, when you started to say, okay, my husband says I should do this, when did you really think like, okay, I am going to do this and I'm going to start putting content together to start organizing it and really saying, I'm committing myself to this? Because many times, with life, we go, oh yeah, I should do that. But because your journey is, you actually did this. And so when did you decide,
Yeah.
like, was it 2 years ago, 6 months ago? And then how did you decide to coordinate the content?
It was about 2 years ago I started writing my story of my growing up as a child. And that's the first chapter of the book. And I was writing about my parents, the crisis in my parents' lives. But now I'm an adult and I'm looking at it. And I mean, I was crying when I was writing it. And I kind of had to stop because I stopped for like a year and then I developed my defining moments teaching. That's one of the chapters. John Maxwell talks about there's the heartbreakers, the ground breakers. The heartbreakers are what we all have, things that break our hearts. The ground breakers is when God digs deep like a gardener, digs up the old lies, digs up all of that stuff, the stuff we're carrying, the baggage. And so he's breaking the ground, and then come the chart breakers. And so I saw all of those moments in my parents' life. Then I applied them to my life. So that first chapter, it was like I had to sit back for a year and just digest all of that. And then the next part was my life in ministry with my husband, the difficult times we went through. And all through it, I'm thinking, who wants to hear this? Who wants to hear this? What kind of story is this? People don't want to hear this. And I mean, just in the short time the book has been out, I've gotten texts, private messages, thank you for sharing your story. But that lie was going the whole time. Mm-hmm. Who wants to hear your story, Kris? I mean, people have been through cancer, a lot worse things than you. But it made me realize it doesn't matter if it's worse you can't measure it that way. We all have trials. And then that's the first part of the book, part 1. And the second part are 4 different lessons that I have put together, and I've spoken on them too. Baggage to luggage. I remember when I turned 40, I felt like the Holy Spirit said to me, Kris, are you ready to put down this baggage of depression and worry and fear? And he just asked the question, just like a coach does. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, can I please? Yes, I want to. And so I put it down. And of course, that was a process. It didn't happen overnight. But so I do a teaching on letting go of your baggage and packing your luggage for a new adventure with God. And when I speak on that, I have my old backpack of crummy stuff. And then I have my new luggage that I go off on my adventure with God. Mm-hmm. Then I did another chapter on defining moments, another chapter on what if your dream dies, and how God, many times he makes it die before we're able to pick it up and see what the new dream is about. And what was the 4th one?
Oh, come on, you're the author.
dealing with irregular people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've had people in my life, but I didn't want to put their names in there, of course. But anyway, I share my journey of how God helped me to deal with those difficult peoples and to let go of expectations. And I was sharing with you this morning in the group, this is the first Christmas in probably 10 or 15 years that I've really am enjoying Christmas, because Christmas has had I just wanted to ignore it and pretend it wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And I'm really enjoying it. So, but it had to do with dealing with irregular people. And I use Bible characters in all of those teachings. So when I realized that I could use the content from my speaking engagements, that made it easy because I had the notes and then I elaborated on that. And it's like, oh, well, I already have content. Mm-hmm. I just didn't realize I could put it into the book and help other people.
Well, it's amazing because so many people say, you know, I have a story to tell, but maybe it's so personal in their life. And I've talked to people a lot this week, in fact, that have said, I would like to write about something, but it would be, if I wrote it personal, it's about people that are still alive.
Yeah.
That I might offend.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes it's about perspective. Sometimes it's not about telling the actual story.
Right. Exactly.
It's about telling what's influenced you.
Right.
Right. To be able to communicate a message.
Mm-hmm. And how I've had to grow. And, you know, we hear that phrase, flip the script. I've had to flip the script and reflect on the good that's come out of it, how I've grown. Because from some situations that I felt rejection, it pushed me closer to God. It pushed me into getting my master's degree because I decided I can't spend my energy on these people. I've got to move forward. So I went and got my master's degree. And then 5 years later, I went and got certified at John Maxwell as a leadership coach. So it's like, if we can use our obstacles as a launching pad for personal growth, I mean, I'm just so happy now. It's just, I don't have that baggage. I can let the people go to be them and not, and I think I was sharing this morning with you too. One of the best things I've learned in John Maxwell is don't take things personally. You know, it's just a waste of time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people don't mean it. Sometimes they're just thinking in their own brain of their own situation. And I've wasted so much time taking things personally. So that's baggage I'm going to let go of.
Well, and you're such an inspiration to us because, you know, you're one of those people, and you say, I went back and got my master's degree and I did this and I did that, because you have it in your mind. Like, how am I going to influence and help people? That's always been in your character. And so we challenged you this morning, yes, just a few hours ago.
I know.
And I said, Kris, if we're going to really do this live, I want you to put together your Facebook business page for this book. And you were like, okay, I'm working on it right now. But I think I can do this. I think I'm going to share this for the first time. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to share the screen to show people what your business page looks like. And I think I can do this here. So hang with us.
Yeah, I just put it together after we talked. And
okay, so people should be able to now see your business page on here. And so it says there had better be a corner, right? And it is coming up here, and you can see that Kris is standing by her John Maxwell Executive Director pop-up marketing, and she's got it all organized here. So pictures of her signing her book and the event today, and just your story about, you know, why you were in trying to make sure that you could encourage people through difficult times. And so it's going to be a great page to be able to go and understand, learn from you, connect to you. Now people are already making comments, but you've got it set up for your posts, reviews, your photos. And so this is a great way, you know, if people haven't done this yet, or they're saying, I am so afraid, because I don't know how to do all this. Like, this is overwhelming. I could never do this. I have something inside of me, but I could never do it. So, were you at that point? Really?
Well, yes, I didn't know how I was going to promote this, and by meeting with you in my group, which is another sign that even coaches need coaches because we can all get stuck. And
Mm.
like you said, I want to help people. And when I went through all of this in my life, so many times I just felt alone. And I don't want people to feel alone. And Facebook has opened up so many things to where I know people do feel alone, but we don't have to feel alone. And there were times I wanted to quit this coaching group thinking, oh, I don't want to invest the money. I'm done with it all. A couple weeks ago, I'm done with it all.
I know. I was like, what are you talking about? You've got a book. You said you were walking away from this.
But I needed you and I need you. And so, like this morning, you said, I challenge you to put up this page by the time we do the interview. And I didn't have time to think, I can't. Because so many times that's my default. I can't. And I'm talking to someone and they're saying the same thing. I can't. And we got to get rid of those words. I can't. Because you helped me. You said I can do it. You told me how to do it. And I did it in a few minutes. And we just have to get rid of the I can't, those words that jump in before we're even thinking. And so I'm kind of excited. I don't know what's ahead. You guys challenged me in some different ways to engage people because that's where we really can help each other. I'm just learning so much more that as we mastermind together, you guys had wonderful ideas for me this morning. And I'm thinking, I didn't know what to do. But when the great minds come together, it's really, really fun. And I think everyone on this call can see what a great personality you have. You just have such a fun-loving personality. But I know you've been through difficult times.
Oh my gosh. This has
Yeah.
been the most tragic summer of trying to just figure out what the next steps are. And
Yeah.
like you said, without mastermind groups, without people that you can just think through things with. And sometimes you come in at such an angry state because something's just happened,
Yeah.
right? And we could say, oh, every day I have my family, I have my work group. It is not the same. And I'm not going to say John Maxwell team is the only group that you should join. I am saying, like you, get a group of like-minded people that you can trust, that you
Mhm.
can bring to and say, here's what I'm thinking. How do I get to the next step? How do I make myself better? How do I make more impact in the world of what I believe in my heart? Because, John Maxwell, yes, although he says, I am faith based, I am not going to shove that down your throat. But I think if you have faith, in your life, if you have faith in your family, if you have faith in yourself and your career and the things that you want to bring to the world,
Right.
bringing people together like that, there are
Mhm.
so many coaches, trainers, speakers, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, everybody will tell you,
Yeah.
you have got to find that community
Yeah.
because that's who you transform into,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's who you transform into. And so you've got to make sure to put the people in check that you need in your life and get rid of the toxic
Yeah.
because that pulls you down. It can't allow you to think about the creative things. And
Right.
so, with your book being called There Had Better Be a Corner, we were making some really fun suggestions this morning. And because we were all bouncing ideas off of other of what are corner things that
Mhm.
would be the same parallel with marketing. There's
Yeah.
corner bakeries, there's corner interviews, there's corner of your life,
Music.
there's everything, right? Everything. And
Yeah.
so the music and so when you bring it all together, you're like, but my message came from my heart. And
Right.
so how it starts is it's an idea. It's something that pulls you into your life and says, I need to communicate something because I've always said there better be a corner, there better be a corner. So now
Yeah.
you're right about it. Now it's going to turn into a movement where people can think about that in their car and think, I'm turning around a corner. Wait, didn't Kris write a book about that? What's that mean? There's so many implications that are going to come through this to have a connection with people. So I wanted to bring you on and give you this opportunity because I want people to know who you are. This message, your book is powerful. People need to get it. And in the link here, I've posted the link. They can go to Amazon. You've got a Kindle version and the paperback. So they can do that. And then you've got your group page now, your business
Yeah.
page.
So I want that to be an encouragement and a tribe that we can communicate with each other. When I was at my book signing this week on Tuesday, there was a young lady that's head of a ministry to young women. And she says, well, what do you have on YouTube and that? Because I want to share with my younger ladies. And I'm going, I don't have anything. And she says, well, you need to do that. You need to do that so I can have this. And I'm okay.
It's all next, right? So you start writing your list down, and this is a great way on your page so that you can put things like, here are my goals, right? And keep yourself accountable to the group and saying, I'm going to create the YouTube channel next. And so
I have a channel. So I just need to do the videos.
The biggest cheerleaders, man. We're here to support you.
I know you are. Thank you. Thank you for doing this interview and just all of your encouragement. I really, really appreciate it.
This is so awesome. So tell us about, you've done some of these book signings. So what are you doing next? Where will you be next?
Now with the holidays, I'm not doing much except I sold 2 books this morning. I just keep them in my car and people ask me about it. January 28th, I'm having a book signing at Co-work Landing in Brandon. And it's a coffee club for the chamber in the morning and my ribbon cutting. I've had my business 4 years and I've never had a ribbon cutting. And you told me, Kris, you need to have a ribbon cutting. So that's going to be January 28th. And then just posting more on this page and getting interaction and engagement. And that's where I'm going.
That's awesome. So I'm going to put this page up again. So if you hadn't seen this yet, this is Kris Beaird's new Facebook business page. So it's going to say there had better be a corner. It's got her picture of her beautiful red dress here with her stand-up banner from the John Maxwell team as an executive director. You can contact her on this. It's just really great stories from her book signing and this event, and get to really know her passion and why she's doing what she's doing. And so this is going to grow into a great community. Already, since this morning, you've got 45 people that have liked this. So
wow.
I know that, with your address, you've got your phone number, all of your personal website information on here. So I really want to encourage people, get on here, share some love, get some likes on here for Kris and start following her, and maybe post something, a phrase in your life that has gotten you around that corner, right? That has made you transform. And that would be really fun to kind of watch and see what people's visions are about that.
And what I want to focus on too in this next year is individual one-on-one coaching with people, leadership, how to be the leader of your own life. Because most people don't even think they're a leader, and I didn't. And that was me until recently. I mean, people told me that. I knew that in my head, but I didn't feel like it. And so I just encourage individual one-on-one coaching for me has just helped me to grow because it's action and accountability. You've got to take action, then you've got to be accountable. So I love the clients that I have. We check in every other week by phone or video, and it's just great to see the growth in their lives and how I get to be a part of that.
Well, when you step outside and you do something like write a book, you've put so much energy into understanding how you believe, how you see yourself, how you can provide impact to the world. And I think that makes you so much, now you're at the next level of a credible coach because you've really thought through that, and you want to be able to provide that value and add value to someone. So I really want to celebrate you. I'm so proud of you. This is a big journey.
It is. It is.
It's a big journey.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And all right, so everybody, the post is in. You can follow this thread. You can order the book. You can go to her new page, sign up, like it, post some things to her, say hello.
One more thing.
Yes.
For those who have read it, if you would post a review in Amazon, I would really, really, just a couple sentences, I would really, really appreciate that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, Kris, thank you for being an everyday leader because that's what you are.
Thank you so much.
And
And Merry Christmas to you and to everyone else.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.